TrafficMASTER product, which is carried in Home Depot stores. This is a vinyl tile that sticks down, and you just basically peel off a protective layer and stick to your subfloor, assuming you have a good clean subfloor. Now what I'm dealing with here is a new subfloor in new construction, so it's clean. We don't have any issues with sticking. Now you'll see I've laid out lines, and that's where I'm going to use to set my tile. You notice I've got a good 90-degree angle, and then I'm going to line up both sides of the first tile. This is the most important tile because all the others are going to go off of this, and you don't want to have a crooked room. You'll have too much on one side or have an issue. Basically, you just use some pressure to push down. You can use a roller if you do have one. Now this is just a small half bath and just a toilet and sink, so I think we only used about 20 tiles in here. If you've got a larger bathroom, just going to take you a little bit longer, but we're actually able to do this bathroom here in 15 minutes. I did not edit this video down for time. I wanted to show you that you really can do a bathroom in about 15 minutes. I've used this product before. It only comes in two colors. This is called the Exodus, and there's another color which is darker. Same type of pattern, but if you're going for a darker look. I like this one. It is a groutable tile, meaning if you do put a space between each tiles of the tiles, you can use a grout, and it will give the appearance of a hard tile. Now the initial tiles are going to be real easy to put down because they're full tiles. We're going to get over to the sides here shortly and show you how to cut this product. It's pretty easy to work with. There's some really low-end vinyl tiles. This is the highest end of vinyl tile. That may sound funny. And it even costs more than some ceramic tiles. But with the cost of putting backer board and the labor and time to do ceramic or hard stone, it's got its applications. I'm just doing a little dance here, pressing it down because I do not have a roller. And now we're over here by the toilet flange, and I'm going to just mark it. And like I said, you can cut it with scissors. It is pretty hard with scissors. Like I said, it's some of the low-end tile you can cut with scissors because it's a lot thinner, but this is a little bit thicker. It's actually got a lifetime warranty for residential. I don't know how you go about claiming on that, but they claim it's lifetime. Now, if your subfloor is dirty, you're going to want to get it as clean as possible. But if you have an old existing subfloor, maybe it's not perfectly even, or just not a perfect surface, they make some prep products you can use. I've used that before on a house that had, I just wanted to make sure there was no adhesion issues, and I believe it was actually a product for indoor-outdoor carpet or carpet tiles. But it was a product that went down, you let it dry, and then you put the tiles on top of it, and they'll never come up. It's a very, they already have adhesive on the tiles, so putting additional adhesive. But if you're worried about any edges coming up because of an old subfloor, I would definitely go ahead and pick up a small little bucket of adhesive. You want to make sure you pull it in tight always, and so you don't have any gaps. Now the area around the toilet flange doesn't matter because that's going to be covered up by the toilet. If you're doing existing, I would recommend pulling up a toilet. You can, leave a toilet in if you had to. You're just going to have to be a lot more precise with your cuts. And in this case, on the edges too, if you already have existing baseboards, you're going to want to be real close on your cuts and measurements, or you can also get some quarter round which is a little piece of trim that will go up against the baseboard and cover up. So if you have a 1/4 inch gap or so, you can probably get away with that. In my case here, this is new construction, so I'm going to go, I've got a good gap, but there's going to be a baseboard that's going to cover that gap on the edges. Now you want to give some thought as far as how you're going to lay out the tiles going into the entryway. You'll notice that it's 2 full tiles deep and then about a half or 2/3 tile towards the front. That's just kind of the way I felt was best for it to go in this small half bathroom. You don't want to end up with a small, 1/4 of a tile on one side. You kind of want to space them out. And right there, what I just did is scored it with the razor, and it snaps real easy. It's just 1 or 2 scores with the razor will get you what you want as far as the depth to snap it. Making the round cuts are the hardest because it's, you got to use scissors or you got to score it really deep, and it's obviously easier just to make a straight cut with a straight edge. Now over here in the doorway, I'm going to show you how to do I guess a 90-degree cut or taking a square out of here, not just a straight cut. So I'm going to mark on both sides because I have to go around this door here. And I'm just going to take my straight edge here and I'm going to score it just like normal. But normally I'm going to take a couple passes. It's going to score it deep enough. And then on one side I'm going to try to score that a lot deeper. It's kind of like sheetrock if you've ever worked with sheetrock. I'm going to score it pretty deep on that one side so that I can get it to open up, crack on that side first, and then snap it off. So. Pretty easy. Now then, I've also got to measure for the doorway here. I'm going to have carpet on the adjoining room, so I'm going to use a product called Z-Bar, which is what wraps around for the carpet to fold over that edge there going into the bathroom, so it'll be a nice transition. And that's another reason I decided to use this vinyl flooring, is because a hardy backer plus mortar and ceramic ends up being about 3/4 inches high, and I didn't want to have a transition piece going up with just the carpet in the other room. I'm just marking on my line here, and I'm going to take my straight edge here. Once again, score it. Snap it, and we're done. Notice on the back side of all these tiles there's an arrow. There's a pattern, I believe, that requires them all to go the same direction, so I've got them all pointing towards the north wall in this room. You'll notice we're about 10 minutes in and I'm about 90% done. We just got to do a few more tiles here where the sink is going to be. As I said, I've used this product a couple times, and I really like the way it holds up. I like the way it looks compared to other vinyl tiles. It's pretty close to tile. As far as it's pretty close to a hard tile. It's got reviews on HomeDepot.com, 4.8 out of 5. That's pretty high. 99% of customers would recommend it, is what it says here. That's a pretty high rating. Another video you might want to check out on my DIY channel, just some of the stuff I do around the house and on different projects, is a product that Home Depot has called Simple Mat, and it's amazing just the things you can do with, I guess you'd call these adhesive products. Simple Mat is for backsplashes specifically, and I used it in my own kitchen. I did use a tile backsplash, but rather than mortaring to the wall, it's an adhesive product that sticks to the wall. The tile sticks to that adhesive, and then you end up grouting just like normal, but you avoid the process of grouting, or excuse me, putting in a mortar mix to adhere to the drywall. So it saves a step, and it's pretty easy, and there's a link to that if you want to check that out as well. Now, as I said, this is groutable. I've only seen this done once personally, and there were some issues with it sticking long term. I don't know the reason for that, if that was the type of grout or whatnot, but when you space it out and grout it, you know, it's only got an 1/8 of an inch to grab to, so I don't know if that's enough or if that's would be causing the issue, but I would keep that in mind. I think it looks fine, put together tightly like this. It's more obvious that it's not a hard tile this way, but I didn't want any issues with grout coming up. So we're coming in on the close here. It's about 14.5 minutes, pretty much real time. I had to make a few edits, but adding on a couple minutes to lay out my initial measurement and decide where I want the tiles. I finished this bathroom in about 15 minutes. If you had a larger area, obviously it'd take you a little bit longer, but what takes the most time is, of course, getting that first layout done and getting your first run of tiles going. But if you have a large area, like I said, you're going to get all the big tiles in first, and then taking in the edges is what's going to, you know, take the time. But the ability to do this with scissors, a razor, a straight edge, makes it fairly simple and straightforward. So here we are, we're going to come up and I'm going to show you the final product. Overall, very satisfied. We're going to get the toilet and sink and baseboards and everything in here, and hopefully get a clip of that in there, but I hope this was helpful.